this is how you do dips, as well as I'll give you scaling options to scale them down if the dips are too difficult. But a lot of different dip stations look a little bit different. This one's got a nice curve inward to it, so if you're a real tall, long arm guy, you might be out where handles are a little bit wider, short arms up where the handles are a little bit closer. But going for these dips, make sure you are kind of leaning forward to the front part of this. You think about a dip like a push-up, you know? That's maybe the most common mistake, is trying to stay like really vertical as you're doing these and staying straight up and down. I think about leaning forward and thinking about it like a horizontal press, like a push-up. So you get that sort of lean forward to it. I try to bring like my chin or my chest to this crossbar here on this particular dip station I have. And that is getting into talking about depth. How low do you go on a dip? You want to go pretty well as low as you can, as long as it's pain-free and you don't have positional breaks in the mechanics of your movement. You don't want to have your elbows coming in towards each other as you're coming down, because that's sometimes if you get down real low, those elbows will start to come in towards each other behind the back. Try to keep your forearms straight up and down, so your elbows should be stacked like right over where your hands are, not pulling to the inside or pushing outwards, outside of the hands, keeping those forearms vertical, but besides that, getting about as low as you can. You want to get at least to like upper arm parallel with the ground. That's sort of the minimum. If you can't get that low, either you're exceptionally tight in the shoulders or you're trying to do something that is too heavy for you. And do not be afraid to scale down to something that is a little bit lighter. It will help you the most in the long term in terms of gaining strength to go through full range of motion and do a movement that you can do correctly and that you're not always taking to failure. Like going to failure with everything is usually not the right answer, except in maybe some circumstances for whatever goal you have, or maybe a different isolation type movement. But make sure the hands are even. We get up tall, and now this position that we have at the top is reached shoulders down. I don't want to be saggy shoulders like crunching up to my ears, and I don't want to finish the dip in that position either. So I'm not finishing like here with saggy shoulders. I'm finishing up through the top, pressing my shoulders down away from the ears and finishing the rep, starting and finishing the rep at that point. But we're here up tall into kind of how we would say a hollow body. You know, getting the shoulders forward a little bit and reaching the shoulders down. Hollow body, like you have a scoop out of the chest. Here, up tall at the top, leaning forward, coming down about as low as you can without the positional breaks, pressing back up to shoulders down, not stopping here, not stopping here. Don't be like, getting all jabby about this. Reach up at the top, finish that rep. Down low, up tall at the top. Oh, leaning forward on each one. Lean forward, not this straight up and down sort of thing. Lean that chest forward. That's a dip. Making these a little bit easier if you got bands. This is a good way if you are close to getting those dips, but they're a little bit difficult, you can add a band. I wouldn't, you know, if you got to add like a real heavy duty band to these, I'd probably scale down to some push-ups, which is a push-up, but I'll show it to you anyway. But here, you go knees inside the band. Getting in there if you don't have the great dip strength. Getting in there maybe a little bit, struggle at first. Trying to hop up, boom, get the knees in there. Okay, still everything's the same. Boom, just a little bit of assistance. Bye. Now, if you can't do some dips, which is absolutely perfectly fine, and again, like I said, I would scale down whenever you need, man. Don't be trying to push something so far that it's all jankety reps and gross and you're trying to push too hard for it. Do something that you can do cleanly, you know, good quality reps. And I'll show you how you can assist with these push-ups, which would be like this. I'm putting the band up above a bar above me, and you take the band and run down underneath the armpits, and then we're doing push-ups that way. But with the push-up, trying to have 45-degree angle between the arms in the body. So not arms out here, not arms in here. Goldilocks, just right. Again, the forearms stay like perfectly up and down. You can think about gripping the ground with your fingers is a good way to create tension and help get all the muscles working in the upper body real well. But 45-degree angle, make sure the hips aren't touching the ground before the chest. Make sure you're not out here and doing baby push-ups. Get down there and touch that chest. Well, all the way up the top again. You can reach those shoulders. Down, chest touch, reach up at the top. And I'm showing you with the band so that you see what that assistance looks like. You can also do these at an incline. If the straight push-up is too hard for you, set up a barbell inside of a squat rack, and we end up doing push-ups, you know, on the bar, like at an incline, something like that. A lot of ways to do that. But that's how you do dips with scaling options.